All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Dividend Journey here on Financial Friends. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about ETFs, give an update on the portfolio, and talk about Amazon Web Services briefly, but more on that probably on Thursday. So, if there's no thumbnail on this video, it's because Amazon Web Services is currently down and it affects a ton of stuff, and clearly it affects Canva as well, which is my proprietary sort of Photoshop editing software for the thumbnails here on the channel. So if there's no thumbnail, I do apologize. I'm going to try my best to be creative or make something up or do something for it. But thank you for clicking on this video if there's no attractive thumbnail or I wasn't able to hook you in at all. So I also just want to say thank you to everyone who is liking, subscribing, following, commenting, anything like that, supporting, viewing, anything. I just want to say thank you, and obviously go ahead and give a like, give a comment, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on the video, and liking the video also helps push it to more people. So if you did give it a like, you can spread this message and everything else along with it to many more people. And that's really the goal here at Financial Friends, is for everyone to be a friend, for everyone to help everybody out, and help spread that message. So let's get into the portfolio. Let's see what's been going on recently. A little bit of a sneak peek here. Here we go. So here's the portfolio with a total value of just under $230, $228.02. We currently have a yield on cost of 2.14%, dividend yield of dividend yield of 2.12%. In December, the annual income for December, we have reached $1, at least for one of the months. Our annual income, again, just under $5 at $4.83. So this is very exciting, as you can see, sort of just through updating the portfolio. Obviously added a big chunk of money. If we view out a bit, you could see here the big spike, the add of $70 in the previous week, and then a little bit of a ramp up here as I've added some more money into the portfolio. So moving down, we can see Apple is up big time for us. Fizrock's down overall. J&J up just a touch. And there's been a big market drop recently. You could see a little bit of green here. There has been a green day today. But in the past, over the past few days, the market has been pretty red, which we like. It allows us to build up these positions at a bit cheaper of a price, which allows us to continue to lower the price we are paying for that dividend, which is really the whole message I had last week when we made those big purchases. Now, we're not adding any position this week. We're going to keep everything the same, but we are adding to SEHD. I know last week I said I was potentially going to be adding a tech stock. Really wasn't sure. I think that that's still going to come. But for now, I'm going to add to SCHD. Now, there's a reason why I like adding to SCHD, and this is really going to be the topic of the video, is why ETFs? Why even include an ETF in the portfolio? Why not just buy the best stocks from it? Well, diversification is my main reason, and I want to help keep this portfolio a bit stable. So something I think that everyone should do is explore the ETF page that you're buying into. Find out what it owns. Find out how much of it owns. Find out how much it's going to cost you, what the objectives are. As you can see, the highlights are even here. So I know I went through this page in specific actually very early on in the dividend journey, but it's important to kind of revisit, see if any things have changed in the ETF, and just kind of stay up to date with it. So obviously this is to track before expenses and fees, the total return of the Dow. And this is really just, a dividend ETF. It's focused on dividends, as you can see here, straightforward and low cost, offering potential tax efficiency. Tracks an index focused on the quality and sustainability of dividends, and invests in stocks selected for fundamental strength relative to their peers based on financial ratios. So it's making good investment decisions based on financials. And it's, making sure you can get quality and sustainable dividends. And that's what we want in our portfolio. So when there's not a great time to purchase any individual stock, I'm going to purchase a bunch of them at one time through this ETF. And also when I'm, just needing to add funds to the portfolio, haven't done any research, haven't found a buying opportunity or a good stock to add to the ETF position. So let's open up the fund details. a lot of numbers, a lot of different things that you really truly don't have to understand to invest in it. Now, you should be able to look at these and kind of get a small grasp, but they're not super important. So we're kind of going to glaze over them. There's a few different, ratios and different percentages, etc. over here, and they do mean things and they are important. But this is what I'm looking at personally. I want to see what the portfolio has in it. So we're going to pull up and view all the different positions. Its largest position here is Home Depot. And Broadcom, Pfizer, Pepsi, Texas Instruments, Merck & Co., Coca-Cola, and you can continue to go down the line, and you can even see some familiar names. Obviously, most people here are going to know Home Depot, and Pfizer has been a big name. Pepsi's one I was thinking about potentially adding to our portfolio here, but I do own it elsewhere. Coca-Cola is a direct competitor to Pepsi. 3M is a stock we have in our own portfolio. And there's a bunch of familiar names in here as well. Tyson Foods, Fifth Third Bank, Prudential Financial is one that I'm familiar with. I work at a credit union, so I see some checks come through. I'm not sure if everybody else is familiar. Kimberly-Clark. So big name companies are being involved in here, and you can see based on market value. That's the way that these are sort of ranked. So almost 5% of your funds, whenever you make a deposit you purchase this ETF, is going to be going into Home Depot directly. So call it $5 for every 100. It's going to be going right into Home Depot. $4.50 is going to be going into Broadcom. $4.36 going into Pfizer. That's generally, now it's not exact, but that's generally how this works. And you can see the market value. Home Depot is the largest company at $1.5 billion, and then Broadcom at $1.4 billion, etc., etc. One of the tech stocks in here that I've actually been looking at, one that I'm kind of excited about, and I do need to do some more research on, is IBM, International Business Machines Corporation, or you can see here the ticker IBM. And see, so this is why I like investing. That's not a company that I made an investment in directly yet. However, I do own chunks of it through SCHD. Verizon is another one that I haven't made an investment in. I was thinking about AT&T, thinking about Verizon. Decided really not to invest. It's not really in my circle of competence. It's another thing we need to talk about, but it's not in anything that I understand. I don't do research in communications. I haven't, searched any competitors or other companies up or anything like that. So I'm just going to stay out and I'm going to passively invest in it through this ETF SCHD. Now, there are other ETFs out here. It's not just SCHD. You are not limited to just SCHD. However, this is one that I've done my research on. I understand what it's doing, where my money is going, and how it's being invested, and I like it, and I'm going to continue to use it throughout the duration of this dividend journey. You can even see here the sectors. So where is your money going sector-wise? Well, about 22% of it will be going into financial companies, 20.69% into information technology, 13.93% into consumer staples, and it continues to break down from there, with the lowest percentage being energy at 1.9%. And this kind of keeps in line with my circle of competence as well. I'm relatively familiar with financials, not really like the legacy companies, but I do know consumer staples, consumer discretionary, healthcare. I'm familiar with these industries and the way they work and kind of the bigger players in the spaces, and so I feel comfortable with chunks of my money going there. And you can also see some interesting information like market cap. How big of companies are being involved in this fund? If this fund was full of, less than $1 million or $1 billion or any type of, metric, very small market cap companies, you might be like, wow, why are they investing in all of these companies? And more than likely, you would have never heard of a majority of them. So just understanding your investment and taking a look at these pages, you can search these up for really any investment, ETF-wise, that is, or, index fund, mutual fund, etc., and pull up additional information on it, and I think that it's very useful to do so, but that is where our funds went, SCHD. Now, I will show you here a screenshot of what has been going on. So I know this is going to be a bit small. I can try and zoom in for you here. We did go ahead and buy, as I said, $10 here of SCHD. That's here. But we also received a couple of dividends, which is very exciting. So kind of working backwards from the top, today we made this purchase. We also received our dividend from Johnson & Johnson, as you can see there. And that was reinvested for us, so that's kind of this showing it right here. We also reinvested some cash from FizzRocks, so a reinvestment of about $40 into FizzRocks. And then on the first and the second, you can see purchases of Apple and Waste Management, $6 in waste management approximately, and $1 in Apple approximately. And that is from my Financial Friends Christmas Countdown, which if you are not following along, you definitely want to do so. In the description below, there's going to be a bunch of links to my Twitter page, my TikTok, my public account, and on all three of these, and Instagram as well, on my stories, I'm updating every single day. I am picking, sort of like similar to an advent calendar, I am picking one box, and I'm opening that box up, and I'm pulling out a stock, and I'm investing a set amount of money into that stock. So I took $100, and I had my mom divide that money up randomly between, like $1 to $8 worth of investments. And I am making those investments every single day into the respective company that I pull out. And it is completely random. She went ahead and did all of that for me. I just named the stocks that I owned that I might be interested in making additional investments in. And I, told her I had $100. And she went ahead and did it for me. So definitely go ahead and check that out. But I did make a purchase of Apple and Waste Management in my Roth IRA as a result of that. So those were additional adds if you want to consider those as well. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make myself bigger. With all of that being said, I want to thank you for watching this video, for hearing me out, and I hope that you were able to understand why I look at these different things and why an ETF is in the portfolio, because it provides diversification to all of these other different stocks and assets that I normally would not be investing in because they're not within my circle of competence. But because I'm able to kind of passively invest in them through this ETF, and it is doing the ranking and the investing for me, then I feel comfortable placing my money there, and it provides that additional diversification that we are looking for to help keep the portfolio a bit more stable. And it pays a great dividend, which is the focus of the ETF and why we even considered it in the first place. So with all of that being said, guys, I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for listening. Drop a comment down below if there's anything that you want to see additionally. Make sure to go ahead and check the podcast out at anchor.fm/financial friends. If you were looking for a way to support Financial Friends, you can go ahead and do so at anchor.fm/financial friends, or you can join the Patreon where you can see when I'm buying, what I'm buying, how much of it I have owned, and get access to the Discord and additional content and posts spread throughout. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. And with that being said, I want to tell you all to have a great day.